Hello, everyone, and welcome to another week of the Empower Hour. I'm your host, Brian. Apologies for the delay today and also for not having our call last week. I see there's a ton of comments this week and questions, so I think let's just dive right into those so we can make sure that we can get to everything before this hour is up. So give me 1 second, let me move over there. So first question is from Crispina. Any update about the transfer of matured coins? Um, I'm not sure what you mean there, Crispina. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not sure what you mean on the update of matured coins. Um, yeah, if you can write again, Crispina, I'll do my best to answer. Next question is from Wolf. Hi, Brian. Can you please explain why power level fees were once again taken from my matured coin balance? From what I understand, this is not the norm. So Wolf, as of about a month and a half ago, you recall we now are no longer using pre-coins. I know we still have to get the posting payouts updated to be coins, and we're taking much longer on that than expected. But the one thing that has been changed over is your power level subscriptions are now paid with coins, and if you've been active, meaning you've had 5 or more daily goals in the past 30 days, you get that amount immediately refunded. Anytime you're charged for something, you're always charged to your most matured um, balance first. So that's always been the case for many years now. So that would be likely why you're seeing that. Um, well, if I wish to report a strange anomaly in the marketplace, purchase items are appearing green in my I've sold page and no option to leave or input shipping or tracking. Okay, yeah, I'm not sure what that is. Wolf, let me write this down. I'll take a look and see if I can have someone look into that. Wolf, same thing with you, Darlene. Um, Again, lately I've had several transaction disputes, all which were found in my favor. My question: how can we determine and ascertain that our accounts were actually credited for those sales? There is no indication in the balance page, and there is never any change to the 30-day mission or all-time points. When can we expect marketplace items to be identified by transaction numbers? So I get two questions there, Wolf. One, when something is disputed, that means that bank row is still pending in your balance. So let's say you sold something 5 days ago, that gets disputed. You know that when you sell something in general, you normally see yellow on the bank row, which means it's pending. It's in your balance, but it hasn't been released yet. The trigger that needs to happen in order for that to be released is for someone to mark an item received. When that happens, you'll notice that the bank row changes from yellow to a white or gray, depending on since it alternates. But you'll notice that it's no longer pending. So the way that you can tell that a sale that has been disputed where it's found in your favor has been credited to your balance is that you'll notice that bank row is no longer yellow. Um, Now I know if something's old and you have a lot of transactions in your balance, it may be not there anymore. So perhaps that's where the issue is. It's something that we need to get to as far as being able to paginate from, meaning go from page to page. So right now the balance shows your most recent 1,000 transactions, I believe. So ideally it would let you go back multiple pages so that you can see that. Unfortunately, it's on the list, but not necessarily near the top. So in that situation, yeah, there's not much else we can do, unfortunately. But that would be how you can check in that regard. As far as when you can place transaction IDs on marketplace numbers, let me write it on the list again, Wolf. But given the number of things and how unfortunately slowly we've been moving at the last month or two, I'm not sure when I can give you a timeline on that one, unfortunately, but I will definitely bring it up again and see what we can do about it. Um, so, from what I'm understanding from you, Wolf, you would like to have your pre-coins somehow converted to all-time mission points. Interesting idea. Let me bring it up and see what we can do. As with everything, when we do stuff like that, it takes us away from other things that we could be doing. So I'm not sure, I totally, I can see where you're coming from. I'll bring it up. I just, you have to understand that we always have to balance, what is going to help the most amount of people on the platform. So, yeah, I'll definitely bring it up. And just to throw it out there, even when we've completely gone away from pre-coins fully, we still have a record of what you've had. So if as we're getting closer and closer to moving into beta, and we're continuing to bring on more engineers, things like this where right now it's not necessarily the highest priority, or we don't have the ability to tackle it right now, that doesn't mean that we won't be able to in a month or two. So it's something that we could always try and do later if we see it as being doable. So uh, I'll at the very least bring it up and see what we can do about it. Valerie. So Valerie asks, why does Empower penalize multiple sellings to regular customers? So Valerie, again, I'm not going to say that I don't understand your question, because I've answered this question many, many times. So here's the situation that we find ourselves in. On one hand, we have every single person, once someone finds out a way to defraud the system, they're going to create thousands and thousands of bots, and they're going to juice that for all that they can. And this thing like this, where people can go and sell to the same account over and over and over and over again, cash out, and then completely destroy the economy. We've seen that happen before. You've been around long enough to understand that. So we have that thing over here. Then we have this thing over here where we have good sellers like yourself that have repeat customers that are coming back. And if you're only selling to the same people, one or two people, then yes, unfortunately, we don't have the ability to distinguish the difference between you and this guy that's trying to defraud the system. Now, if you have a lot of customers and you just happen to have a couple of them that like to buy from you a lot, then that's fine. You're not going to have an issue. The issue is where you're selling to the same two people over and over and over again. That's where the situation comes. Now, can we go and figure out better ways to make it so that we can discern who the legitimate person is and who the fraud person is? Absolutely. But again, with everything, unfortunately, we have limited resources, and it's just not something that we're able to get to just yet. I completely understand where you're coming from. I completely understand that to you it's unfair, but we also have to understand that the reason why it's here is because the opposite of not penalizing you at all means that the whole entire economy goes down the tubes. So apologies, but that is the reason why that's in place. I think that it's affecting you less than what you really think it is. Unless, of course, like I said, if you're selling to the same person over and over again and nobody else, yes, you're definitely going to be looked at as fraudulent, unfortunately, and that's why you'll see that bar being red. And that's, I hope, as clear as I can be on the reasons why that's in place, to protect everyone, and also hopefully you can understand that as we get some more momentum, as we get more bandwidth, we're going to be able to tackle issues like this so that it's, we can figure out the difference between fraudulent and not fraudulent. So we're just not there yet, unfortunately. I have it on the list, but again, the list is very, very long. So hope that addresses your question, Marie. Um, 2 to 3 disputes made by a buyer when items in question shipped to the UK only, custom and buyer requirements. Why am I being penalized for doing the right thing? So, Marie, if you're selling things only to the UK and someone buys them and then they dispute it, you should be winning those disputes, in which case the funds should be going to you, and those disputes won't count against you, they'll count against the buyer. So if that's not happening and the guides that are the ones being the mediators, if they're not finding it in your favor, then that's where the issue sounds like it may be lying, and in which case they need to be retrained. So if that is the case, please write to us at thecoin@empowr.com, and we'll make sure that we'll go and figure out who's been doing your disputes and get to the bottom of that. But yeah, that shouldn't be happening if that's the case. So Patrick, I'm trying to read your message, but it's very long. So I'm not sure I'm understanding why you want us to work on the old coin when we have a new coin that's in place. So yeah, I'm not quite seeing your vision there, Patrick, but like with all this stuff, I'll share it with others and see what they think. William, can you tell the citizens what happened when a buyer wins an auction and the seller hasn't sent and hasn't answered any questions? And when the buyer clicks on actions, there's no option to dispute. So that sounds like definitely an issue if that's happening, William. If you have that, can you please write to us at thecoin@empowr.com on the listing in your I bought page? Right click on that listing so that you can copy the URL of what that listing is. Send us that. Send us your profile URL as well. That's going to be the two key pieces of information that we need. Actually, if you can also copy paste the name of the listing that you bought, those are going to be the key pieces of information that we need in order to investigate. One thing I will say is that you have a 30-day window, I believe, to dispute something once you've bought it. So if that is not the case where it's beyond 30 days, that could be the issue. I'm not 100% on that though. So yeah, please send us the URL of the marketplace listing, your profile URL so we know your account, and then the name of the listing, and we'll see what we can do to look into that. Question 2, when we sell an item on the auction site and the buyer raises a dispute because he hasn't received, and the reason for not sending us is that the buyer has not registered his address, but the dispute has made the seller's bar go red. Solution could be reject these offenders' bids and listings so they give all their details. I have been rejected for using caps, and yet these people get away with it, causing lots of extra work and money for the people doing the right thing. I'm not sure about using caps, what you mean with that, but yeah, William, it sounds like so number one, when someone disputes something because they haven't put in their address in the dispute, the guides trying to moderate that dispute, they should force the person to give you an address and give you a chance to go and ship the item, and then mark the sale as item received so that the dispute doesn't count against you. If that's not happening, please write to us at the coin, like I just told Marie, I believe, so that we can see if there needs to be some retraining on guides on how to do disputes. Um, but yeah, that should not be happening if that's the case. Question 3: when a buyer has bought and has to dispute because the seller has no intention of sending, why does the buyer bar go red? So again, if the buyer wins the dispute, that shouldn't be an issue, which in this case it sounds like it should. So maybe temporarily when you've done that, the bar goes red because there hasn't been an outcome of the dispute, but once it gets marked in your favor, that should not be an issue. If that's not the case, please write to us. William, it looks like a duplicate question there. Yes. Okay, thanks, William. Sorry, James. I'm gonna have to come back to this later. It's if you can try and break it up into paragraphs like you did with your next comment, then that would be perfect. Otherwise, it's just too much text for me to read, staring at the screen while I have everyone looking at me. James, thanks, Brian, for the live stream support. I need to get my power level back. It had been removed when it should be moving up, and others like. So this should have been fixed late last night Pacific time, which would have been 12 hours ago. I see in your case, James, that you are, looks like, I'm not sure what power level you are, but looks like you have your power level back. So, so yeah, it sounds like it's fixed. So Sergey, you're saying today the system bought the same power level that I had before, although the money in your account was enough to purchase a higher power level. So Sergey, please go back and read the blog post announcement on how the power levels work now. It has nothing to do with how much money you have. It has to do with how many daily goals you've hit. So at the level that you're at a pretty high power level. It's likely going to take a couple months for you to get upgraded to the next. So that's the way that the power levels work now. 2. Why when a buyer opens a dispute, the goods are paid for and an address is provided, the dispute is decided in my favor. So when a buyer, are you the seller in this situation? You are a buyer. You decided not to buy, and the dispute is decided in your favor. Yes, Sergey, I'm not quite sure. It sounds like it's similar to what William was bringing up a moment ago. If what should be happening is if something's being, if there's a dispute that happens, then while that dispute is still in process, it's going to show up in those bars. But afterwards, if it's found in your favor, then that should, go away basically. So that's not happening. Please write to us, and we'll see what we can look into for that. The payment of the level takes place in coins. Earnings are still going to the coins from the wheel. So yeah, Sergey, we still need to get rid of the mission wheel so that way you're getting paid only in coins for your posts and hitting your daily goals. Again, it's just taking a lot longer, unfortunately, than we'd like, but it's getting close. Same thing with number 4 there. Hamid, when do you show us your support in the exchange? The difference between buy and sell is 5x. It's really impossible to trade. Buying possible, but how about resell it? Great, Hamid. So again, this goes back to what I've been saying for a while now, which is, you're saying, why don't we do something, us here do something about the trading volume Um, well, the one thing that we are doing, which I'll show you a screenshot of it in a minute, it's just about done. Hopefully by next week it'll be live, is automating trading so that way we get more people trading. But ultimately it comes down to you and everyone else both buying and selling coins. If everyone's just trying to sell and no one's trying to buy, then the situation that you're bringing up is going to be what it is. We can't go and just buy back everyone's coins because we're trying to run a business and an economy here. We're not in the business of, trying to create trading volume just because, just on our own. In the future, maybe we'll try and do that, but ultimately, this is a team effort that we all need to work together on. So if you guys are not at least trying to do your part, then there's not much else that can be done. We can only give you the tools to make it easier, which is what we've done with the trading tool. And then here I'll show you real quick this what the show this. So what's going to happen is you'll see at the right underneath where it shows how much your trading volume is. By the way, if you're not buying and selling, then you're also not maximizing the amount that you can cash advance or shop with in the marketplace. So it's really a win. It's a win-win-win for everyone if everyone's buying and selling, because you're going to have more to cash out. You're going to be able to actually sell it when you cash it out, and then you're also going to have more to buy in the marketplace, and everything works well. But it comes down to everyone doing their part of buying and selling. And so what we're going to do to enable that is give you this bar here. Hopefully you can see it. It's a little bit small. Let me increase it a little bit. It's going to get a little blurry, unfortunately. But there you go. So, you basically have this bar and you can choose how much you want to trade per day. Just to make it clear, if you're doing $100 in buy and sells every single day, that's what it takes to make this bar get full. So you can go and set this for, let's say, 100 per day, and then save it, and then that'll turn auto trading on. And so then the way that that will work is that we'll always try and sell and buy the maximum amount possible to save on fees for you. So let's say that you put $100 per day and you had at least $50 in coins or ether. We'd go and first do a buy order for 50, then we'd do a sell order for 50, and then you'd be done for the day. 24 hours later, the same thing would happen over and over again. If you ever wanted to turn it off, you just slide this bar to the left and click save, and then there's no more auto trading. So that's what's going to be coming. This should hopefully make it a lot easier for people to trade so that they're not, I know right now, which I think you're alluding to, people are basically placing sell trades. They're expiring after an hour because not enough people are buying to make those trades go through. So with this, if we get enough people just automating their trades, one, if they put in buy or sell orders, if they expire, it'll just keep on going over and over again. But that's going to be the key, is we need enough people opting into this, and by enough, it's really not that many. If we just get, if we start off small and grow, it's going to make a world of difference. But again, it takes two parties, both us giving you the tools to do it, and then everyone in the community taking advantage of those tools in order for this to be successful. We'll do as best as we can to keep things afloat. As you hopefully have seen, the price has been fairly stable over the last week or two after kind of finding its happy place. And this is due to a lot of the mechanisms that we've put in place to ensure that the price isn't dropping as hard as it used to in the past. But again, in order for things to truly work, we need you guys doing your part. So I hope you guys take advantage of this tool once we get it to you next week. And yeah, that's where things are at with that, Hamid. Let's see. So Darlene, so clarification regarding the question last time about the loss of pre-coins. What I meant to say was currently our earnings are still going to pre-coins, and since the announcement early June, they should be going to coins. Are we going to lose the earnings that went to pre-coins that should have gone into coins? So Darlene, by lose, I mean you should be spinning the mission wheel and earning coins that way. So, but yeah, as far as the pre-coins being converted into coins outside of the mission wheel, there's no plans for that. So, um, yeah, hopefully that addresses your question. Darlene, yes, there was an issue that with the power levels yesterday. That's since been resolved, um, and yeah, I'm hoping that it shouldn't happen again. You asked for ideas during the last time stream. Let's see. Would it be possible to create a separate tab with a page blog that lists the issues currently being experienced by the citizens? The citizens could go to the tab, review the issues, and then agree or disagree as to whether they are experiencing the issues, similar to when we vote. Yeah, Darlene. Interesting. You know, we have stuff like this in place that the guides are currently doing. So anytime that you report something to your guide, um, they do have a process where they're submitting that, and then we have a form where we can prioritize items and all that's happening. But yeah, I definitely see. You know, it's iffy because here's the challenge: if we open it up to the entire community, that's great, that's awesome, because then everyone it's much more transparent and people can see, you know, where the highest priorities are according to the masses. The downside is you're unfortunately going to get some people that aren't looking to be productive and just want to go there and troll everyone. And so then what that means is that we're then going to have to hire someone, you know, part or full time to go and manage that entire thing. And then we're using resources that we don't have that we could be using somewhere else. Um, and so that's why up until now we've had this process only be maintained by the guides because, you know, they are, you know, more involved and they aren't gonna go out of their way to make more work for everyone because they understand, you know, the intent behind everything. So let me see what we can do about finding some kind of platform where it allows us to perhaps moderate and not have, you know, block out anyone that's trying to cause trouble. But so yeah, great idea, Darlene. Let me see what we can do about enabling something like that. The other one is, would it be possible to create a user group of citizens, including guides, management, technicians, etc., to user test changes to the platform before they are released to everyone? This could alleviate the number of issues that get raised. So yeah, again, Darlene, you know, we've done stuff like this in the past. We have the functionality there. You know, part of the issue is that we're also, you know, trying to just move so quickly that once we get something live, we already have 1,000 other things that we need to get to. So yeah, I'm not sure if we're ready to do something like that just yet, but it definitely is something we've done in the past and something that we definitely will do in the future as we get more bandwidth. We can figure out a way to, you know, have it be a minimal amount of extra time on our end. That would be ideal since, like I said, we have thousands of things that we need to get to. But yeah, great idea also. Anything that we can do to get more people involved and more transparency is awesome. So let's see. I think your first one is something that maybe we can get to faster than that second one. But thank you for the ideas. Please keep them coming. Same with everyone else. On behalf of Rowan Holton from Claire, I love the new Coinbase system that has proposed paying coins and earning coins. I can't wait for it to be up and running. Unfortunately, it looks like we have been charged prematurely. It's been a whole month now. We're still not earning in coins. Yeah, unfortunately, we're not there yet. Please, can you refund us this last month? So, Rowan, I'm not sure about your actual account, but assuming you've hit at least 5 daily goals, you should have been refunded immediately. That's how the power levels work. So if that's not the case, write to us so we can see what's going on. But that should already be happening. So Tom Thomas, you're posting for Lexi Thomas, so I see that her comment is already below. Yeah, the correct, I'll just reply here. So Tom, yeah, if you guys have an issue, please write to us at thecoin@empowr.com. Again, I'll preface it by saying that sometimes we're not able to get to things as quickly as possible. That said, we should at the very least be letting you know that we'll be looking into it to getting a response back so that you're acknowledged. If that's not happening, my apologies, and but please write to us again if that's not the case, and we'll get back to you with at least an acknowledgement. Tom, why is it that we can't transfer out our matured coins, please? Yeah, please write to us at thecoin@empowr.com, Tom. It could be that, I'm not sure in your case, but if you are not hitting if you haven't hit at least 15 daily goals in the past 30 days, then your account's dormant, and therefore you cannot cash it out. I don't know if that's the case in your case, but as long as you have hit 15 out of the last 30 days, it should be working. Please write to us at thecoin@empowr.com if that's not the case. Nikki, the buy listing feature, yeah, I'm sorry, Nikki, and everyone else is just taking a lot longer than, we, testing is taking a lot longer than anticipated. I'm going to stop promising when it's going to come just because it's taken much longer than expected. But as soon as it's ready, I'll be putting out an announcement on the live site so you guys are all aware. So Maslin, I just answered that question. Adrian, the persistence is I have introduced an individual where to improve everyone's earnings from $2 per day to $25 per day is a big step and a big deal. I cannot recommend that invites go out until I can prove that my links work. I expect invites to go out to 11,000 individuals, hence my calls, emails to the coin. Yes, Adrian, we're aware of the issue. We'll be getting to those as quickly as we can. So yes, Adrian, it'll get fixed by the time the beta launch is ready, because the entire point of the beta launch is for us to start marketing the platform. So I believe we wrote back to you at the coin already, because the email was forwarded to me and I saw it. So, but just for everyone's sake, to make sure we're all on the same page, the entire point of the beta launch is for us to get the platform to a point where the majority of issues are resolved, the majority of functionality that we need is there. The functionality that we need is, the two kind of missing things, I think, getting this automated trading, getting these buy listings in place. What that'll enable is, one, making it so the trading volume can take off, so that as people are earning on the platform, they're able to cash out faster without having to wait. It'll also help keep the price potentially more stable. So that's one thing that's definitely necessary. With the buy listings, it enables you, with the funds that you have that you can't cash out, or even the funds that you can cash out, you can go and put things exactly what you want. You want to get a very specific item from a very specific store, put it in the buy listings feature, and someone will sell it to you. So with that, those two things, are able to cash out faster. You're able to get the things that you want in the marketplace. Sellers are able to earn more because they know exactly what someone wants to buy, and they can't mark the item as unpaid because they've already said that they wanted the money, and they had to have the money in order for the sale to actually happen. So once those things are in place, the only other big missing piece that I'm seeing is we need to get our mobile apps, and we need to make sure that um, the pages that aren't work well on the mobile browser are working. Once we have all that in place, let's make sure that any remaining like massive bugs that are affecting a lot of people are also fixed, and then we're ready to do the beta launch. And once the beta launch happens, it's all about marketing and bringing in as many people as possible. So that's why when we said to you, Adrian, that we're not quite ready to fix that issue yet, it's because we're trying to focus on the things that are needed so that when people do come into the platform, it's more usable for them. So we'll get to it soon, just not quite yet, unfortunately. Iron, you're still earning pre-coins because we haven't been able to get it so that we haven't gotten there yet, unfortunately. Hopefully we'll get there soon. Suggestion: it would be nice to have the 14th bar. How successfully our fully matured coins were delivered to our wallet. Not sure I'm understanding that, because if you have coins to transfer out, you should be able to do that. I'm not sure why you would want to have a bar that helps you cash out more when the bar is based on how much you cashed out. Sorry if I'm missing the point, Iron. Lexi, you already hit your message earlier. Great, and that looks like it's everyone's questions for this week. Like I touched on in some of the messages, taking longer than expected to get some of these features that we've been working on for a while to you guys. I apologize for that, but we are still trying to charge forward as quickly as possible. Hoping to have some good news for you by next week. So as soon as it is, we'll be putting out a blog post so that you have it, and then of course we'll talk about it here on the live stream next week. So thank you all again. Thank you especially to Darlene for taking the time to offer some great suggestions. Please, everyone, if definitely I want to answer your questions and address any concerns that you have, but any ideas that you think especially if they're fairly simple ones like what she's saying that could offer a lot of value, those are awesome. So anything that you guys can do to add those here, I'll be happy to take them to everyone else here at headquarters and see what we can do to get those enabled for you. So other than that, thank you everyone. Hope you have a great weekend and a great week ahead, and hoping for good news next week. Take care.